Hello, everyone. I'm Christienah. For those of you who don't know me, for the rest of you, welcome back. It's been really rough lately for a lot of us. I know, myself included. And, the cat's just got my feet there in the Zoom mood. Alrighty. Okay, wow, we already got 11 people here. Hello, Kate King, Sunshine, and Adrian, and Paul. Yes. And you're going to get more prayers, Paul. You just don't even know. You don't even know. Lots of people love you. Both of you, Adrian, Paul. Okay, and I first want to at least start out and say thank you to everyone who prayed for me from the post from yesterday or the day before. It was amazing. Like, it hit me so hard, and your prayers started, and they kept coming, and it just turned it right around. Whatever that was, it was ugly. Okay, I had a high fever and a migraine. I couldn't believe it. It was a miracle what happened. Even Stone the Crow, she started a prayer chain on her channel. Thank you. Also wanted to thank everyone who's been donating, and of course ask for prayers for Paul. We know you haven't been feeling good, and you're definitely in my prayers, and it just breaks my heart to see you hurting at all. But links to Paul's channel, as well as Daily Excellence, is in the description box. So with that having been said, all my love yous to everyone, we're going to get to it. We named this particular video Prophecy Veils of Heaven. And can you check the little fan by the the cats? Sorry, you guys. Prophecy, Veils of Heaven, and Hell to be ripped. And this is true. All right. And considering that we're in the last days, there are just some things we need to be kind of checking up on. And you might learn some things you really didn't know. I'm going to show you some things. But to kind of give us the idea of the times that we're in, it is the last days. Canned whole dried eggs up from $36 to $116 for that same can from just 2 months ago. In my area, North Houston, diesel pumps are being bagged at several gas stations. The diesel pumps, and like the sign says, it doesn't have a price. It has some letters on it instead. Imperial margarine at the grocery store used to be the cheapest margarine. Even compared to the butter, there was really nothing cheaper. You could buy 4 sticks of margarine, 89 cents. It is now $1.59. Gatorade aisle is sparse. Canned cat food is sparse. Besides the grocery store, we have stock markets and cryptos crashing. House market is in trouble. Civil unrest and violence. And I'm not too happy about this particular next one. We're supposed to have 103-degree temperatures here on Saturday with no clouds. 102 on Sunday and Monday. Meanwhile, Australia is flooding. Levees are breaking and rivers are overflowing, and it's bad. Okay, it's like Sydney and Queensland, and it's been going on for some days now. So you have to ask yourself what more could possibly happen. We're going to get into that in just a second. Just want to check that. Oh, Kim's got terrible reception. Hello, TNT. Yes, Kylie, welcome. Lion Bay, welcome. Yes, they did. George Godstone. Some people might be upset. I don't know. First thing I did was laugh. I really did. Christienah, welcome. Many people live paycheck to paycheck. That's right. Also, yes. So with all this going on, and it being the last days, welcome Bruce and Thermal Ascension. What more could possibly happen? Well, there's this little prophecy about Israel and Jerusalem being divided in the last days. Could that possibly be happening soon? Well, as it turns out, Biden's got a little trip planned to the Middle East for the 13th and 14th. And I definitely don't like to scream that the sky is falling or, cry wolf. But never have I seen everything look so perfectly in place as it is looking now. Before, we couldn't get Abbas, Palestinian leaders, anybody from that side to come to the table. They just wouldn't do it. And this has been going on for a long, long time, like decades. But now, Palestinians have 5 demands of Biden because he's coming. They got some demands. And Lapid, I believe that's the new prime minister's name. Guess what? This dude was an actor some years ago. Can you imagine that? Another politician with an acting background. Just saying. I'm just saying. But Lapid, the new prime minister, he's really gung-ho about this two-state solution thing. And so is Biden. And other countries are involved, I believe, like Saudi Arabia, Jordan, something like that. But there's many countries kind of actually in on this. All right. But the Palestinians, to start, have 5 demands of Biden. And there's this article, and it's from the Jerusalem Post, just so you know, I didn't just get it from anywhere. PA official tells Post the Palestinians 5 demands for Biden. Okay, they want Israel Prime Minister Yair Lapid to meet with PA President Mahmoud Abbas as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Israel now, I mean, can you imagine the turnaround? Not just started this article. From what we've seen in the past, the Palestinians are demanding to meet with a new Prime Minister, Lapid, as soon as possible, all right? Like, they want to shimmy in a vortex right now, kind of, as soon as possible, right? Okay. They have some highlighted things. He called on Prime Minister Lapid to immediately meet with Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas to revive the stalled Israeli-Palestinian peace negotiations. So, see, not just going to talk about the weather. They're going to talk about peace negotiations. That's exactly what this is. They probably want to get on the horn with each other before Biden arrives, right? But it has number 1 here, restoration of a political horizon between Israel and the Palestinians. That's one of the demands. Number 2. Oh, but before number 2, it says, what is preventing the Palestinians from resuming the peace negotiations is the absence of an Israeli peace partner, which looks like they do now. Okay. Number 2, reopening the US Consulate in Jerusalem. The Palestinians consider the reopening of the consulate as a U.S. recognition of East Jerusalem as the capital of the future Palestinian state. That's why they keep tripping about opening that consulate there, because it symbolically means that it's the Palestinians. East Jerusalem is the capital. That's what they're saying that will symbolize. So it's really not just a consulate, okay? It's what it symbolizes. Number 3, removing the PLO, the Palestinian people, from the list of terrorism and reopening the organization's diplomatic mission in Washington. I want to shake hands there. Number 4, see, none of this seems very hard to do so far, okay? Because before, it's like they know the other demands are going to get met. So they're like, okay, we just got these 5 little things. Number 4, exerting U.S. pressure on the Israeli government to halt the escalation against the Palestinians. This means translating the U.S. position such as rejection of settlements. And number 5, restoring U.S. financial aid to the Palestinians. They also want money from the United States. Okay, we need the money. We hope the aid will be resumed. Okay. That's this article. So you see a lot is going on. You don't really hear a whole lot about it going on in the news, but there is a lot going on. The Palestinians also want Biden to, I close the article. I'm just letting you know some other things that's going on. Palestinians want Biden to reverse Trump policies faster, and they want Biden to use, this is interesting, the U.S.'s special relationship with Israel for peace negotiations. I mean, can you imagine somebody backdooring you and saying, hey, use your friendship so that I can get what I want out of your friend. Use your friendship. It's like, I don't know, it just feels dirty. Okay. And so, you know, considering I had visions about this, it does concern me, all right, because disaster might be in our near future. It's not going to, what I saw 7 years ago isn't years away anymore. I mean, when you look at the condition as a whole prophetically with the world, the peace deal would happen in the last days. It would. All right, the dividing of Israel, that's a last days prophecy. Okay, but also so was famine and financial issues and pestilences and civil unrest. You know, we knew that there would be droughts and floods and earthquakes. The way that things were being described, it's just looking a little eerie, and I wanted to bring that to your attention because we're talking like a week away. This little trip out. I don't know how much is going to happen, but it looks to me like the groundwork has been laid for everything and anything and everything to happen just as prophecy had said that it would. Let's go ahead and check the chat real quick. Hello, Diana. If you got to pay someone to be your friend, that ain't your friend. That's right. Hello, Clarissa. The apple of God's eye. That's right, K King. Dennis Glass. Sending peace and love your way. Thank you. Portsmouth. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. I love it when y'all tell me where you are from. I am feeling much better, Denise. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't think I could have gotten through this without your prayers. Mac. Okay, y'all talking. I don't know. God allowed those stones to come down. I'm just saying. All right. Now let's get to the rest of this. All right. Just want to let y'all know that's near in the future. But what's also prophesied for the last days is two things that are mirror images, mirror versions. Okay. There's the great falling away and there's the great revival. All right. The great falling away happens in the last days. All right. Check this out real quick. I'm going to 2 Thessalonians, which is in the New Testament, I think. Hold on. Yes, it is in the New Testament. 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2, verse 3. Yes. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So right here, they're talking about a day that is coming that isn't going to happen until a falling away happens first. And a man of sin is revealed. Okay? And we go to 1 Timothy 4:1. Okay? Now, it says, now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter days, latter times, some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. It's about the falling away, right? And this is signs of these people, okay, that are falling away, giving heed to seducing spirits. They speak in lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron, meaning they have no conscience anymore. Forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from meats which God hath created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth. And what they got, this fake meat burgers going on. All right, and then we go to 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. And these chapters are like right behind each other in the New Testament. Sorry, I should have said that. 3:1. If you look, remember last one, they were like, oh, they're liars, they're hypocrites. Chapter 3:1, 2 Timothy, it says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. So we can see that the great falling away has already begun. We see false doctrine and heresy in the church already, the great falling away. How they believe some pretty non-biblical things. All right, so, and are we in perilous times? Yes, we are. We absolutely are, and it's getting harder every day. I'm talking, what was it? You can't even have a July 4th parade without somebody coming up and shooting up the crowd. All right, yes, we are in perilous times. And the way prophecy talks, we're going to end up getting delivered up because we believe in God. And this is coming next. This is before anyway. Just, it's coming. These are things in the future. Okay, but the Great Revival, people don't know as much about. It's also known and always has been. This is not something I'm making up. This is something that has been around for centuries. People talked about it. I don't know what it is about this generation that has forgotten it. But this is it, okay? The Great Revival was also known as the Great Awakening in the last days. The Great Awakening was also always associated with the apocalypse, which is about veils being taken away. Great Awakening, veils taken away, eyes are opened, okay? Now, let me, and this is just getting our feet wet for just a second, okay? But we're going to look at a couple Bible verses. One that you may not have noticed before, all right? And if I'm not mistaken, this is a prophecy. It's Isaiah 52, 7 through 10. How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him that brings good tidings, that publisheth peace, that publishes peace, that brings good tidings of good, that publishes salvation, that says unto Zion, thy God reigns. Thy watchmen shall lift up the voice. With the voice together shall they sing. For they shall see eye to eye, when the Lord shall bring again Zion. Break forth into joy, sing together, ye waste places of Jerusalem. For the Lord has comforted his people. He has redeemed Jerusalem. The Lord has made bare his holy arm in the eyes of all nations, and all the ends of the earth shall see the salvation of our God. And then a few verses later, 5 verses later, it says, so shall he sprinkle many nations. The kings shall shut their mouths at him, for that which had not been told them, hasn't been told you, you will see. For that which had not been told them shall they see, and that which had not heard, they had not heard, shall they consider. So we're going to talk about the veil of heaven and hell, the veils of heaven and hell to be torn open. Because it looks like whether gates of hell are being opened or the veils of heaven are being torn, we're going to see some things that we haven't ever seen before. We're going to find out some things, okay? Now, I found it interesting because the temple veil was torn when Jesus was crucified. Like, literally, this curtain was torn in the temple, this veil. But they also talk about that, and it's always been talked about. When you had the old school churches, they would talk about in the end times, veils would be torn away. Okay, and that's when they would say it would be like a revealed bride or a birth. But it was talking about like the bride. So the first one was about the groom, and the second one has to do with the bride, the veil being lifted, right? Like a bride. And so that always brings us back to the mystery of Revelation 12, but we're not going to get into that right now. Okay, then we have a different kind of veil, which could even be known as a gate. But since we are in a spiritual war between heaven and hell, that's just getting amped up, it's just getting started, we will see a different kind of revealing, I guess. And I mean, even the Antichrist is going to be revealed, right? But there's this thing called CERN. They turned it on yesterday. But that is meant to open the gates of hell. And the Bible even talks about these locusts is coming out of the pits of hell with women's hair and breastplates and, stinging people, but they don't die and they don't eat any green things. Okay. But other things are coming through too. Really bad things. The demons and the fallen, they're among us. When they start that machine up, things come through. And I think that the whole crew's already possessed, especially after I saw that dancing. But you need to understand, with gates like that opening, it doesn't just stay there in the building. It goes out into the world. And so you'll notice that people will turn on you, unable to hide their darkness. Okay? And if you just take one look at Houston, oh my God, it is so dangerous in that city. I mean, just the news. It was bad when I was growing up. The news now it's inconceivable. It's just it's on a whole nother level. What's going on in Houston? All right. Bible verse. Luke 8:17. Yes, 8:17 says, "For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come to light." Let's take a look at the comment section. Super vast. I think terrors removed, they will no longer hinder the children of light, and they will shine. Yes. Hello, Patricia. A little nowhere town, 2 murders last week. See, it's happening. A lot of people are getting headaches too. Yes. And that's the thing is, they talk about in last days how people that are close to you, even your family, will betray you. They will give you up. They will turn you in just for being a Christian. Okay? Hold on just a second. Whether we like it or not, we are being sifted. We're being separated. And it's not going to be easy, because there's a lot of people that you grew up with, that you care a lot about. But if you're on 2 different wavelengths, if you're one's light and one's dark, chapters are going to be ending with certain relationships. Certain books are going to have to be closed. It's just the way it is. You're going to have to prepare yourself for that. And I'm sure a lot of you are already going through that. Okay. Ooh, you got a bad headache. I'm sorry about that, Stone the Crows. Adrian says, gates to hell shall not prevail against us. No, they shall not, girl. They will not, but we will have to deal. We will have to see it. We will have to deal with it. God wins in the end. Absolutely. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Figueroa. Can't breathe. Chris says and welcome, Chris. This time now on earth seems worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. I think the Bible said we're worse with all that is going on now with debauchery. Tolerance is used as a word to justify sin. Yes. Yep. Anytime somebody says I was just, I'm like, my red flags raised. I'm thinking, okay, what are you trying to diminish and justify here? Humboldt says they discovered a new particle at CERN never before heard of just a very short while ago. They're definitely playing with things they shouldn't be. And yes, they are. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they were looking for the God particle and recreate the beginning of everything. No. Yeah. Hello, Dan. Welcome. Hello, Chi-Chi. All right. Okay. Also, I've been asking for testimonies, and I thought that I would give you a few real quick of my own testimonies through Jesus. Because like I said, Revelation 12, it said the power of their testimony. These cats, man, they're just rocking. Anyway, they're kind of running over me and my cords, whatever. Okay, so I wanted to give you a couple of quick testimonies, and I picked 3 that had to do with vehicles. I was 18 years old the first vehicle incident, and I was getting off of, I was traveling 59 south towards Houston to Beltway north, which y'all probably wouldn't know very much, but I was traveling south, approaching the north side, and I was going to head east. But when I exited, on my left side, it was like kind of like the bridge or the overpass was to my left, so I couldn't see anything to my left. All I could see was that green light ahead of me when I started exiting. I had a boyfriend at the time, and I started putting on my brake, and the funny thing was my foot moved by itself, and I just felt this fear just completely come over me. And he says, "Why are you stopping? Why are you slowing down?" And I was like, "I don't know." But then the green light turned like black, and I'm talking like an abyss black there's depth to it. It was evil or something. And as I got closer to this light, this darkness started coming out and reaching for me. I know it sounds crazy, but it was reaching for the car. And just as we got to that line, where you either stop or go, but it's a light, it's not like it's a stop sign. He screams, "Chris, go!" And I'll scream back, "No," but it just came out, and I slammed on the brake. And at that very moment when we would have been crossing through, the same time I stopped, from my left, 10 cars going 65 miles an hour just plowed right through, right in front of me. We would have been in the middle of that intersection, and it turned out both of our lights were both green at the same time. That was the first time that I can remember our testimony. All right. The second one, I was on my way to a gas station one night, but I was really sick at the time, so I couldn't drive. And it's a country road, so there's not really traffic on this road unless there's like a parade around the rodeo or homecoming or something. It's never busy, but there was a line of cars. And just something told me they're about to move this person. It's going to mess up their back, And I could see they're about to jerk the person out of the car, who I couldn't even see the person. And I just jumped out of the car and started running. And sure enough, as I hit the main road where the accident had happened, 2 teenagers were running up on the car, and they were getting ready to jerk this woman out of the car. And I screamed at them to stop. I said, "Don't do it, please." And they're like, "Oh, it's smoking." Well, it was really not smoking. It was just the airbag. But they were like, it's just people's natural instinct to jerk people out of the car. But they can have neck injuries. The woman hadn't been wearing her seatbelt. It was best not to touch her at all. But a lot of people, their knee-jerk reaction is to, not be careful, but jerk people up or out. And it turned out she hadn't been wearing her seatbelt. Her arms and legs were broken. She probably had a concussion. She had patches of hair, like, in the windshield. But the fact that I just somehow knew I couldn't even see. And what had happened was a drunk driver had veered out of their lane and hit her. I even had to call this woman's mother on her cell phone and ask her to go get her grandkid because Mom was about to go to the hospital. It was hard. It was hard. But God works through people. All right. And then the third one. This is when I lost my license to drive. I was really sick. And I stopped at a friend's house. I wasn't really familiar yet with the grandmas. I was new to them. But my stomach hurt all the time, so I didn't know. But I went to her house. It wasn't far from mine, and I stayed there as long as I could. And I thought, okay, I can make it that couple miles home. But my stomach hurt, so I thought, well, I'm just this one time I'm not going to put on my seatbelt. And all of a sudden, from the passenger seat, I heard a woman's voice say, "Put on your seatbelt," just like that. But nobody was sitting there, not a human anyway. Nobody I could see, but I heard it. And I was just like, oh, this is weird. So I listened and I put my seatbelt on. A mile up down the road, my stomach started hurting so bad. And there had been a car pacing behind me. I went to a grand mal behind the wheel and flipped that Jeep 5 times. Everything was crushed, but what was right above my head. They had to cut me out unconscious. I was unconscious. They told me what happened. I had to be cut out and everything. But above my head and all around me was just fine. And the airbag hadn't gone off. I just got like a little concussion and like a little scar on my eye, really. But this is just examples of God that's been working through my life. And I'm sure a lot of your lives, you know. But things are, like I said, this is a war. This is the war of all wars for all time hitting us. So these spiritual experiences, these experiences and miracles through Jesus, these miracles with God, they're going to happen. They're going to keep happening. And I really think that it's important to start telling your stories. Tell them to your friends. Email me. My email address is in the description box. I am still taking those. All right. Please do send those to me. Hello, Rick. Jennifer, Britt, we need to armor up and stand in our authority in Christ. Time to sing God's praises and testifying. Does sing his praises in a way, right? And stop declaring what the devil has done. Okay. All right. I want to thank everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed tonight's live stream, that you'll like and subscribe and comment, and hope, well, you did comment, but that maybe you'll share. And I just love you guys so much. I'm sorry it took so long to come back, but I mean, I was just getting hit with just one thing after another illness wise. But I love you guys, and I want to thank you all for coming, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.